Hi, it's T. Carlson here. If you know me, you absolutely know that I love classic comedy. And when it comes to classic comedy, the Marx Brothers are hard to top. I mean, my backdrop here actually used to have a Marx Brothers poster in there. I might actually have to dig that back out. And I have reviewed releases of a few of their films on this channel in the past. I'll include links to those up above if you want to check those out when you're done watching this one. Today we're taking a look at this. This is the Marx Brothers Silver Screen Collection on Blu-ray. This is the brothers' first 5 films in one Blu-ray collection spanning 3 discs. I'm going to unbox this release and I will share my opinions. Nice cover art of the brothers there. You've got Groucho, Chico, Zeppo, and Harpo. And this is a slip cover that comes off. Back cover's got a few screenshots there. Underneath here, cover's pretty much the same there. On the back, we have these 5 film posters. I like the way that looks. That's very nice. We fold this open, we do have credit and rating information on each of the films. Here we have our discs. There's a list of the bonus features in the collection here. Each movie gets a commentary, plus the last disc does include a few other featurettes as well. We actually get a booklet in here. More nice photos on the back. The Marx Brothers from vaudeville to Hollywood. And it says here this is adapted from a book detailing when the Marx Brothers were on stage. So if you're a fan, you might want to track down that book as well. Got some nice photos in here as well as a nice long essay. Then we go back to the packaging here. We do have 3 discs. Again, this does consist of 5 films. Disc 1 has The Coconuts and Animal Crackers. Disc 2 has Monkey Business and Horse Feathers. And disc 3 has Duck Soup as well as the non-commentary bonus features. Here's what the packaging looks like when you take out the disc. That actually looks very nice. You got elements from a few of the different films here. There's a close-up. I'll read the description of the set as follows from the back of the box. 4 legendary brothers, 5 newly restored classic comedies. The Marx Brothers, Groucho, Harpo, Chico, and Zeppo are the reigning kings of comedy and remain one of the most iconic comic teams of all time. From their early days in vaudeville and on Broadway through their wildly popular motion pictures, the Marx Brothers kept audiences of all ages laughing out loud with some of the most hilarious routines ever imagined. The Marx Brothers Silver Screen Collection, Restored Edition, captures the very best of the comedy team and includes the only 5 movies to feature all 4 brothers. Filled with unforgettable comedy sketches, musical numbers, witty dialogue, and plenty of gags, this must-own collection includes The Coconuts, Animal Crackers, Monkey Business, Horse Feathers, and their most popular film, Duck Soup. One mistake I do need to clear up in that summary there. It says that these are the only 5 movies to feature all 4 brothers. That's not true because there were actually 5 Marx Brothers. There was another brother named Gummo, although Gummo never appeared in any films. Anyway, if you're a fan of classic comedy, it's hard to top the Marx Brothers. I absolutely love these guys. They really cover all ends of the spectrum. You've got a lot of physical gags. You've got witty humor. You've got musical sequences. They really go to all ends of the spectrum in their films. And of course, each one of the brothers brings their own thing to the table. Groucho, of course, with his comically bad grease paint mustache, delivers witty quips at a mile a minute. And the audience is completely aware of just how funny this guy is, but everyone in the movie universe seems oblivious to it. Chico, of course, has to deliver his painfully, intentionally bad fake Italian accent. It's hard to listen to this guy and not laugh. It feels like something held over from the silent movie era, never speaking, having to fully go with actions to explain his beliefs and what he's feeling, and he has a lot of fun doing that. And then, of course, Zeppo always portrayed the straight man in these movies, often the romantic lead in characters like that. Zeppo did not stay with the Marx Brothers when they went over to MGM, with their first MGM movie being A Night at the Opera in 1935. Zeppo instead went on to a successful management career. I guess he probably felt that playing the straight man didn't really do much for him. But even if you watch those later movies, you can kind of tell what part Zeppo probably would have played in those. The brothers just have an absolute blast in each of these films. I'm not going to say every movie that they ever made is a complete masterpiece, but I do believe that these earlier pre- and Night at the Opera movies are the best ones of the bunch. Most of the movies are actually pretty short, so they're briskly paced and they fly right by. I mean, even Duck Soup's not much longer than an hour. And again, you get a nice mix of comedy routines, verbal, physical, slapstick, musical. I do think there are certain sequences in the movies that do drag on slightly longer than they need to. The brothers, of course, they were vaudeville performers before they became movie stars, so they were all talented musicians. I like that they tried to work their musical talents into the movies, although I do think sometimes the musical sequences maybe drag on a little longer than they need to, and there are sometimes tertiary plot elements that I don't think were needed. I mean, each one of these movies has its own plot, and the brothers are all playing different characters, but at the end of the day, they're largely playing the same characters, because every character they play is pretty much the same stereotype character. I mean, you've got witty Groucho, mute Harpo, and so forth. I mean, regardless of what character they're playing, it's the same persona in each movie, although that's not necessarily a bad thing. I was really happy to see that we finally were getting the Marx Brothers movies on Blu-ray. This collection's actually been on the market for a few years, but I never got around to reviewing it until now. For the most part, the movies look and sound very good, the only exception being their first film, The Coconuts. That one looks and sounds very rough, largely because it was made in the very early days of sound filmmaking. The subsequent films actually look much better. There are some obvious limitations due to the source material, but I think it's about as good as we can expect these movies to look, and that's not a bad thing. Like I said earlier, each one of the movies has a commentary track. One of the presenters on there is actually Leonard Maltin, so you do get some nice talent assembled here. In addition to that, you actually get a feature-length documentary on the early years of the Marx Brothers. That's an absolute must-watch if you're a fan. And then you get 3 Today Show appearances, including one with Harpo back in the 1960s going on to the show in character, not speaking, and just having an absolute blast doing his routine, even in older age. And then you have some subsequent ones, including a conversation with Groucho in the 1960s, and even a 1980s appearance from Harpo's son, who goes on talking about the reissue of Harpo's autobiography. I maybe wish there was a little more in the way of bonus features, but overall this is a very good collection, and I don't think any fan of the Marx Brothers will be disappointed. For me, this early period of the Marx Brothers is their absolute best. Fans will not be disappointed if they do pick up this collection. Are you a fan of the Marx Brothers? Who's your favorite brother? What's your favorite movie they put out? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content because I'm always posting new videos, and make sure you give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. I'll see you next time.